When did you graduate from Moore College the first time? And what have you been doing since?
So I studied a BTH and I finished in 2006. Since then, I've trained as a CMS Missionary and I've been working in Japan with university students through the ministry of KGK.
And what's your ministry most like day to day?
So day-to-day ministry for me is visiting campuses, doing Bible study with students, encouraging students one-on-one, and a lot of camps.
When did you decide to start studying the MA?
Well, I had reached 10 years on the mission field and decided I probably needed a bit of time out, a bit of time to recharge, but also to get my brain thinking about theological things in a way that I hadn't been doing for the last probably 10 years because I'd been focusing so much on learning Japanese and culture and getting to know people. So yeah, I thought, well, maybe the MA is a good way to do that.
So as you started studying, what things were you most looking forward to about the process of studying an MA?
I had enjoyed my time here at college doing my BTH, and I just was looking forward to being a part of the community again and having classmates who I could bounce things off, talking to the lecturers, learning new things and being challenged in my thinking.
So as you went through the course, what were some of the highlights for you?
It's been a number of years. It took me a number of years to complete the MA, but I guess I really enjoyed the subjects that I was able to do in person, meeting with the lecturers and other students, nutting out things over lunch. I really enjoyed a subject on contextualization because it really brought together a lot of the things I'd been thinking about as a missionary on the mission field, but kind of putting words to those and pushing me to think about why I do the things that I do and how I do them. And yeah, it was good to be thinking that through with other people who had other different contexts to myself. I also enjoyed doing the subject on Proverbs, and I ended up trying to write Bible studies on the second half of Proverbs from chapter 10. How do we teach that well without taking it out of context? Even though Greek was always a challenge for me, to go back to that, I was petrified. But yeah, being challenged to open up Thessalonians and think about how the Greek works in that, using the language skills that I'd learnt on the field in learning Japanese, but also, just being pushed in my thinking about God's word and how I apply it to my ministry.
As you think about how you apply it to your ministry, what have been some of the benefits for you of study for your ministry as a missionary?
Well, I remember back when I did the subject on worship, one of the assignments I actually used it teaching my students about worship because I work for KGK, which is the university group in Japan, and it's interdenominational. So I got all the students to come along, bring their outlines from church. What does a worship service look like at your church? And they shared that with each other. And then thinking about, what does it mean to worship God in the true sense? So that was kind of as part of the course, helping me to share with the students what I was learning, but also pushing me in my thinking, how do I apply what I'd been learning about worship?
If you were talking to graduates of the college and they ask you, should I do something like this? Why would you encourage people to do the MA?
I don't have a lot of opportunities in Japan to think hard, or if I do, it's often in Japanese. And so my brain is struggling thinking theologically in Japanese, and it kind of has overload. So for me, coming back and doing that study in English was really helpful. After 10 years of ministry, you can get a bit lazy in your thinking, and I really appreciated having other people to bounce ideas off and learn subjects that I probably wouldn't have chosen, but because of my schedule, that's how it worked, and been encouraged and grown, I think, as a result.
Yeah. You mentioned before the value of coming and meeting people and lunches and things like that. What about that was encouraging for you?
So I'm very thankful that Moore College allowed me to do some of my subjects remotely, because if I hadn't, I probably never would have finished. But the value of doing the subjects in person, being parts of discussion groups, nutting out ideas over lunchtime, afternoon tea, and just building relationships with people in my class was much easier when I was here in person.